Hello, 6th grade Bobcats. Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to what surely will be another great week at the Helena Middle School. Got something kind of special for you guys today. This was something that one of our 8th grade students came up with, and it's just a wonderful message about respect, having respect for yourself, having respect for other people, overcoming obstacles, some of those things. So without further ado, I'm going to cut it to Miss Sabisky, and I want you guys to all go out and make it a great week at the Helena Middle School. Alright, Bobcats, we are on to Bob Lesson number 10 already. Holy cow, time flies. And in this Bob Lesson, as I stated before, we're going to continue talking about building respect for yourself. But as always, let's be our best at HMS. Let's be Bob. Let's be safe. Let's be responsible. Let's be respectful. And let's be a learner.
Hi, my name is Avery Skibisky, and I will be doing a special Bob lesson today. Unfortunately, happiness, self-confidence, and love are not things that can be taught. I really feel it is a conscious decision that you have to make in order to feel this thing that I'm about to describe. If you take nothing from this, I want you to know that no matter your race, your gender, your sexuality, your religion, we all deserve to feel happy about ourselves. I once heard a quote, and chances are I couldn't tell you if I heard this quote in a book, movie, or maybe one day I just woke up and thought, hey, wait a second. I honestly don't know. The quote went, everything changes and the world stays the same. And it reminded me of something. There will always be people who can't seem to ever see the light. No matter what the human race does to keep it hidden, there is sadness and pain, and there is bullying, and nothing we will ever achieve will either diminish or completely conceal all that. There are people who are hurt. Those people are hiding the fact that they can't learn to love who they are. And deep down, they are probably ashamed of that. But you have to remind yourself that life is just too short to spend being sad or angry. This is the life you have, and you have to learn to make the best of it. People will try to make you feel bad about yourself, and you just have to remind yourself that whatever they're saying is the result of insecurity. When you look in the mirror every day, I know for a fact that there are things that you're going to want to change. Society's version of beauty is often so distorted that they can look at a person and decide that this person needs to be changed in some way or another. In the world we live in, people have such a hard time accepting that those models posing for makeup commercials are non-existent, and that there might be something more to be said for people who don't need to change something about themselves to feel beautiful. The truly beautiful people are the ones who are just like you. For some people, it's really hard to find something that they like about themselves. But if you ask yourself this simple question, I promise you will find something. What am I good at? Everyone is good at something. Whether it's lacrosse or painting or babysitting or singing, you'll find it. And when you do, you will feel better about yourself, because that is what you can remind yourself of when you feel like you can't keep going or when the world seems to be against you. You see, every one of us has a good quality that the world sees, but we overlook because we can't get past the bad things that we experience every day. While you were worrying if your hair looked okay, the only thing the world saw was who you are, your amazing smile, or the way your eyes light up when you speak, not the fact that you forgot to straighten your hair that day. The world will see you similar to the way that you see yourself. If you see yourself as the beautiful, wonderful person I know you are, that will be the way the world is going to see you. But if you only recognize the bad things about yourself, you're making it incredibly hard for people to pass that wall of insecurity that you put up inside yourself. I want you to think of yourself as a cloud. Every cloud has light days and dark days and fluffy days and thin days. But every one of them is unique and beautiful, much like you. No person was ever like you, and there will never be another human like you brought into this world. No person is perfect. Everybody has sunny days, and everyone has the days where the sun never seems to come up. But that's what makes our life both interesting and unique at the same time. If you've ever looked at a cloud while lying on the grass with someone, you'll know that the penguin you saw eating ice cream was completely different than the smiling fish your friend saw. That is because your cloud is whatever you make it out to be. If you want to be an engineer, it isn't hard to shape your cloud to make it be that. All it takes is a little determination. You own your cloud. You own your life. You choose how to live it. And frankly, it starts by looking in the mirror and being able to accept your imperfections and still be happy. A cloud, like you, is perfectly imperfect. Not flawlessly drawn by Leonardo da Vinci, but still beautiful. All those little things that you find ugly or disgusting, someone is going to come along and see those little imperfections as perfection. There was a quote that I heard that I really like. And it was growing old while loving yourself, while loving someone else is beautiful, but growing old while being true to yourself is divine. Like you may already know, life is not a lonely road. You will find friends, coworkers, fellow students, and romance in your lifetime. But that will not replace what you're going to do with yourself when you're able to look in the mirror and be able to smile back at the person staring back at you. I want you to do something for me. I want you to go home today and find something you love about yourself, and then nurture it. That little thing, whatever it may be, will come back to you. I didn't always have the best self-confidence, and I still don't. But I remember one day that I found something I liked about myself, and then came a time where I lost 3 soccer games in a row, or I flunked a test I thought I'd aced. In the back, I remember that there was still something that was good, and that was what I kept coming back to. And over time, there became more and more, and the next thing you know, you've gone a long way. And trust me, I have, and so will you. You may wonder why I mentioned the quote, everything changes and the world stays the same. I did this because you hear about tragedies and all these things that you think people will learn from, and yet, though your life might change, the world refuses to put in the time and effort it takes to learn from it. But with help from you, I desperately want to help people around the world feel like they can do amazing things, because no one deserves to hear a lie that will decide how they live their life. That is a right that is so habitually and so effortlessly taken away, and it is by no one other than you. Something has to change, and I hope by working together, you and I can change it from everything changes and the world stays the same to everything changes and the world moves a half inch, and I believe that would make a difference.
All right, and that leads us to this week's quote of the week, which is, believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside of you that is greater than any obstacle. And that quote was actually left in the Bob box, so thank you whoever left that. Speaking of the Bob box, Jellybean Question of the Week winners, Jaden Grewat, Sapphire Ferguson, Kylie Wetzel, Callista Larson, and Hayden Mason. Come see me after school for your jelly beans. This week's Jellybean Question of the Week is, I have keys but no locks. I have a space but no room. You can enter but you can't go outside. What am I? If you think you know, get your answer into the Bob box by Friday and be looking next week on the Bob Lesson to see if you are a winner. All right, folks, you guys know the drill. About 2 weeks left before Christmas break. Let's go make it a great 2-week stretch at the Helena Middle School. Wow, great job, Avery. That was an incredible Bob lesson, some incredible insight into loving ourselves, having respect for ourselves. And I found this picture on the internet, and I thought that it was super fitting for this Bob lesson. In this picture, we have what looks like could be one of our grandparents in a wheelchair, using the shadows, the silhouette, and what it says is, how others see you is not important. How you see yourself means everything. And if we think about that, I think it's so true. We have to start with how we see ourselves. If we are comfortable when we look in the mirror, and we love the person that we see back when we look in the mirror. Or for some of you, when you take selfies with your phones after school, same difference, right? I think that if we're comfortable with who we see, then it doesn't matter how others see us. We have that sense of security in who we are first. It all starts there. We can't find that in other people, folks. We need to find that in ourselves. When we look in the mirror, we need to learn to love the person we see in the mirror first. So as you can see in the silhouette, it looks like a ballerina or somebody in a dress dancing, and it's so different than maybe what other people might see. This week's quote: if you don't respect yourself, nobody else will. All right, now on to the Jellybean question of the week. Avery described each of us being one of these masses. If you think you know the answer, write it on a small piece of paper and put it in the Bob box in the Student Services Center. As always, I will draw 5 correct answers on Friday. So actually, let's do this. If you know the answer of what Avery was talking about and you can spot my grammar mistake, I will draw the first 5 correct answers. That's a 2-part answer now on Friday. And as always, I will announce it on the following week's Bob lesson. Hey folks, let's respect ourselves and let's make it a great week at HMS.